I do one-to-ones with our team members on a very regular basis, almost monthly. Yes, we talk about business metrics and how are you doing in the field, but the bulk of it actually is on personal development. And what I mean by that is not necessarily, hey, what are your personal goals? Are you getting to the gym? Are you doing this? But I'm trying to provide an outlet for them to grow and develop and have a sounding board with somebody who actually cares. And that is directly from my faith, because no one's ever going to care about our goals until we show them how much we care. And it's like we hear that adage, that thing a lot, right? And I want to invest in our people first, because once we are investing in them, they will then invest in our customers. And I believe it's going to create a virtuous circle that'll just spin on itself. That's really important to me. It really, really is. Because if we lead our company that way, it's going to look, it's going to feel, it's going to be very different in the field. I mean, so much so, I wish I had one of the shirts here in my office, but we have this saying now that's called be kind and help others. And we've got it on shirts, we got it on stickers, we got it on hoodies, we got it on a bunch of different stuff. And that's intentional.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm here with Judd Roberts, who's the founder and owner of Mighty Pine HVAC, who's a friend of mine through actually a previous guest, Micah Coles. Shout out Micah Coles. And I am excited to dive into it with him here today. I love the HVAC space, and I have a few friends in this space. So I'm curious to kind of hear what has been working for you guys, what things you're kind of challenged with. But tell us the story, man. How'd you get into HVAC?
Yeah, it's a bit of a different journey than I think most, because I didn't grow up in the trades. I wasn't the guy with the flashlight watching my dad doing work in a crawl space. I actually did commercial real estate for the better part of 15 years to start my career. So everything from valuation work to leasing, development, you name it, kind of everything in between. And COVID came, and it was had to pump the brakes, as everybody did, and it actually turned out to be a very big blessing for me, because we were looking to raise money and do deals here locally, and I was traveling a lot. You couldn't hop on a plane, you couldn't entertain. So I was grounded, and it was awesome because it allowed me an opportunity to be here, be with my family, and I realized I didn't want to hop on that merry-go-round anymore. So I got a life coach, and she helped me discover that I was living my life siloed. So there was a real estate bucket, a business bucket, and a philanthropy bucket. None of those ever crossed. So the whole idea was, if we could figure out something together where I felt more alignment in all of the things, I'd be a whole lot more fulfilled. So trying to make a very long story short, I took 6 months off, played, had fun, and quit. We just grew the last company I was at to a team of 53, and I just went, I'm out, and said, let's look at this next chapter. And lo and behold, 6 months later, I ended up buying a small HVAC company with a very different mission and vision that I'm sure we'll talk about today. But the idea is not just to build a business, but to build people. And it's been one heck of a ride. So we've gone from 3 people to a team of 24 now, and already actively hiring our 25th and 26th, and we'll see what the future holds. But that's the quick story on how I got into it.
This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it.
Yeah.
What was your previous life? Maybe I missed it, but what was your career prior to HVAC?
Yeah, so it was real estate. So first part was I co-managed a $1.5 billion real estate fund. So large office buildings, industrial centers, things like that, and focused really in the California market. So Orange County, LA, that type of area. Moved out to Denver in 2008 and did more transactional work during that period. So did leasing, we did management, we did development, and my most recent company that I was at on the real estate side was Stream. So Pat and I began that in a windowless executive suite and grew that to do management work, to do development work. We bought buildings, we sold them. It was a cool run. So I really headed the office side of the business, so everything office related, and that was a good run. But that chapter had come to a close. It was time for something new.
That's fascinating. Okay, and then the big thing that jumped out to me is like you bought the HVAC company. So tell us about that, because I have a bunch of friends from church that have used the SBA loan. One bought a catering company, another a landscaping business. So I'm curious to kind of hear what it was like to purchase, which is a very hot space, by the way. HVAC is like big in private equity. So I'm imagining it wasn't
great. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily, well, maybe it wasn't, I didn't know it, but so it's got to walk you through my process. So yes, we did use the SBA loan. It was a great financing vehicle, and the terms were absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I got a sub 4% rate that, I mean, I'm loving right now with today's interest rate environment.
I bet.
And it was definitely the right play. So yeah, I mean, I when I got the life coach, we didn't know, I should start this off. I mean, prior life, I was looking to become a CFA, do high level trading, that type of stuff, do business valuation work. And so I know how to underwrite. So it was a process of really finding out what I wanted to buy. So I looked at, I mean, tech companies, pizza shops, ice cream parlors, landscaping trades, you name it, to try to figure out where I wanted to go. I underwrote probably, hundreds of companies, built my thesis for all of them. And really what I found was there was a hole with a company in the trade space at about $1 million in revenue, where you have guys who want to get out of the truck and start their own business. Then you have more platform style companies, but there's a spot right in between where the individual doesn't really know how to take it the next step and grow and run that, because they don't have processes, procedures, marketing, all that type of stuff. So the whole idea was basically I need to find somebody that could pass the baton to me that I could then layer in that and grow from there. So that's what I was searching for. And found a great guy, John, and he helped me with the initial bit in terms of getting things going. And then he moved to New Mexico, and I've been running it ever since. And it's been I picked the right guy, let's put it that way, because I mean, today, 5 years later, if I called John, he'd pick up the phone right away and say, "What's up, Judd?" So he's a great human that really helped me land on my feet.
That's awesome. Okay, so you didn't necessarily have technical ability. You weren't an HVAC technician. You kind of bought this business. So tell us what that's been like, having to learn this entire space.
So the ramp up period was very severe. And I thought, using my financial skills, my business building skills, I could kind of come in, small company, layer in some things, sprinkle some magic dust on it, and it would all start working. And that was very much an error. So I got my butt handed to me pretty hard, pretty early, and lost a whole lot of money real quick.
Dang.
And so that was a very hard lesson to learn, a very humbling experience, but also probably the best thing that could ever have happened to me, because don't ask me to go like wire a communicating furnace right now. Like, I'm not going to be able to do that right now. But if you want me to tell you how the sausage is made, I can do that. I've installed water heaters, I've installed furnaces, I've been in crawl spaces, I've been in attics, I've done it all at this point because I was not going to get had again. So, yeah, you kind of like sometimes you got to learn those lessons the hard way. So, yeah, while I didn't come into the business with experience, I do know now the components of it and the basics. So, honestly, I can be a better leader now because guys can look at me with a little more respect and know that he's actually been a little bit more in the trenches. I've sweat with him. I've been in the hard spaces, done the hard installs, but also for me, I also know now what this is, kind of what the industry is made of and how to do it. Because, I mean, it went from doing a full install in 2.5 days to now we arrive at 8 and we're done by 3. And like we are a well-oiled machine at this point, and
Wow.
it's good. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that I have a good buddy who owns an HVAC company here, and he said the weather in Colorado has been amazing. So it's actually been bad for HVAC.
Yeah.
So how's it? How's business?
Yeah, when you said amazing, I was like, I don't know what he's on because it has been a rough start to 2026. It's been beautiful outside. I've ridden my bike more in 2026 than I've skied, so that's not a good thing for someone who needs seasonality. And right,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you, we have layered on some good, consistent work that has been able to push us through where, I mean, full transparency, we're actually up 25% year over year compared to this time last year. So I feel very fortunate to be able to say that. It has been hard and it has been not without its challenges, but we're really looking forward to summer. And it feels like, I mean, goodness, this week it's going to be mid 80s here in Denver. So maybe summer's going to come really early and we'll be able to take advantage of an early season as opposed to non-winter this year. But it's been hard. And that's, I mean, part of it though, too. It's like when you don't have the time, what do you do with your guys? You're going to lose your good talent if you can't feed them. So we've tried to put some stuff in place to be able to keep them fed and keep all these wheels in motion as we spin up for summertime.
Well, let's talk about that for a sec, since that's typically the number one pain point that I see in businesses like yours is finding and maintaining skilled labor. So what has been the key, or what tips or tricks have you found?
Yeah, the tip and the trick that is most important for me, and it's the hardest one because it takes genuine effort every single day, is culture beats everything. So these people, not just these people, everyone is looking for a home. They want to find a place where they feel valued, they feel as though there's opportunity, where they feel like they can grow. And if the leader doesn't paint that picture, doesn't share that vision, doesn't put in place a plan for how they can go from being a super green apprentice, barely able to swing a hammer, all the way to field supervisor or beyond, they're going to get burned out. They're going to lose momentum. They're going to not want to stay. Right. So that's just on the career path, but the culture side it's different. I mean, I'm not going to knock on anybody's business model. Some are there to make a ton of money. Let it rip and go. If that's your business model, go. Some want to be the cheap provider and always have work. Some want to have fun. Some want to be different, right? We have a very unique culture here at Mighty Pine, and we try to breathe that every single day. And we are a very community-focused organization, and I beat that drum very loudly all the time. And for the folks that want that, this is a great place. And we try to blend a lot of these things together and create something that's positive that these guys can literally lock arms and run with. And that's, to me, one of the most important things with hiring. Because if you don't have that, then you're just going to be having a guy who's popping for the next big opportunity and not finding a place where they can land and be.
Yeah.
Sorry. Long-winded answer there.
No. I mean, it's a good answer. I've heard it all. I mean, everything from get them a nice gift every couple of years to, give them some sort of a bonus structure. So I'm always interested to hear what it takes to maintain them.
And that's all part of it, because transparency is a big thing for us. So how are you going to pay them and why? So you have the culture side of it. Then you have the actual structure side of that. So we've rolled out let me back up a little bit. So a couple things on the spiff side of that to kind of create shared alignment, right? So we want guys getting reviews. So we give them $20 for every review that they get. we want to have certain incentives or things that they're doing out in the field. So we would pay them little spiffs for executing that in the field. But the problem was, while these were getting paid each and every paycheck, the guys can't see them. They just look at their bank account and there was $2,000 delivered on Monday, right? That's what they got. Well, what constitutes that? They don't necessarily know if I did good or bad on the previous 2 weeks because it's all lumped into one sum. So what we just rolled out, this is very recent, is a platform called Nectar. And this is one where it's crystal clear. So actually, have you heard of it before?
I've never heard of it.
Okay. So imagine like a Facebook style feed, right? So you have things flowing through and it's all behavior modification type stuff or behavior rewarding type stuff. So you get a review, then I give you XYZ amount of Nectar points, the equivalent of $20. So that goes in the feed. Let's say we want you to go out or you do a solid for one of the guys. More points come in. So it's this reinforcing system where they get paid. And this is, we actually bear all the taxes associated with it. So $20 is $20 and it goes in your pocket. And they can reward, they can see it, and everybody sees what everybody else is doing. So we have several different things, goals for each division, whether it's plumbing, HVAC, or electrical. And then more team-oriented culture things that are also part of that. So these guys are getting real checks, real money, visible in a separate account where they know what they're making over there and can pull it down whenever they want to. So they have their business day-to-day type stuff, but this is more their reward money where it's much easier to see, hey, Judd, I'm doing well over in this because this is how this is growing. So that's a way that we've actually restructured it recently that's been helpful.
That's super cool. What are some challenges that you feel like you guys are facing right now as a business?
Well, hiring is one of them. As we've gotten to size, it's been easier because our team knows other people out there, right? But when we're talking about culture, we want to have guys and gals that are different, that they can feel as though they're part of our family. And when we were a team of 3 or 4, that thing's pretty small and your culture isn't really visible because it's such a small group. But now, I mean, probably our last. No, we had one hire off Indeed, but otherwise the last 12 or 13 people we brought in have all been direct referrals. And so that's been huge, but going the Indeed route and finding other people to bring in to cultivate and grow is hard. So I'm sure this has been a very common theme for folks that you've talked to where hiring is a challenge. And then not necessarily just that, but also developing the talent because I went to college. A lot of my peers and colleagues went to college. During college, you get developed in terms of leadership skills and some of the other basic business stuff. And a lot of the guys in the trades have not. So some have graduated high school, some have not. A lot of folks didn't have the families at home to teach them some of the basic skills that I think a lot of people think are innate. So we spend a ton of time training and developing our team, not just on how to fix XYZ thing, but social development, really growing the individual to become a better person because as they grow and develop, then they can become a field supervisor and then you just kind of work them up and they're better leaders throughout the entire organization. So I
just realized I don't even know what it takes to become an HVAC tech. Do you need to have a background or a certification?
No, not necessarily, because you can get it on the job, then you go get it, right? So whether it's an electrician, whether it's a plumber, whether it's a mechanic or somebody on the mechanical side, they're tracks, right? You can follow those tracks and grow and develop and have different levels as you go. But to do licensed work, you have to have senior people watching you. And that's the whole idea of kind of any type of field where you want to have somebody where you can skin your knee and they pick you back up and help you run again. And it's the same thing here, but with a little more structure. So some of it's field, like you have to have XYZ amount of hours in the field. And the other bit is you have to have some true skill knowledge. And that's get from you go take a test and tell XYZ professor or XYZ proctor that, hey, I actually know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's good. Yep. Let's talk about AI for a sec. Where are you guys leveraging it or how are you guys using it?
We are trying to leverage it as much as we can. And it's interesting because I guess I don't know. I shouldn't assume, but I think a lot of people think the trades, it's like more wrenching. And while it's very
Yeah.
much that, you have the entire other side of the business, which has infinite amount of applications for AI to be used. So I don't know, probably a year ago or longer, I really dove into ChatGPT and I started using it every single day where I don't even remember the last time I used Google. That is what I use from everything. And it's spreadsheet. Now it's spreadsheet analysis. It's very robust on that side. I think a lot of people are doing that today. And what we are doing now is we just agreed with another company last week, actually, to start helping us out in another layer. So this is something where it's been around for a while, your little pop-up widgets, and we're going to, they've developed one where it can go from there to direct schedule into our CRM Service Titan account, which is great. What else have we evaluated recently? I don't know if you've experimented at all with the AI voice, like how CSRs and people are talking on the phone.
Yeah.
It's, I did it.
It's incredible.
I'm trying to do it every 6 months. The first beta test that I did, well into last year, it was okay. But it was good enough where I said, I'd call my wife like, hey, babe, you got to try this. And she tried it and she's like, okay, that's not bad. Tried it again 6 months later. That leap was absolutely massive. And with where it's at today, it's super impressive for how that's going to help streamline. Because for me, let's say we go from 25 to 50, right? And the thought of being able to scale that without hiring another CSR would be absolutely amazing, because then we can repurpose our team, have them do some other stuff, and have our boards full every single day through that. They don't call out sick. There's a lot of huge benefits for doing that type of stuff. And the third one we've recently evaluated is, this is kind of harder to explain, but okay, imagine we got 20 guys all around Denver, right? And Joe's got a call up in Thornton. The next one's going to be in Parker. One's over here, one's over there. Right now, we have a team of individuals that analyzes the board. Okay, Joe's here. He's probably got an hour left over on this one. Where are we going to put him next? And they rearrange the day based upon drive time, skill set, all the other things in terms of where we should put the next guy, right? Because you don't want your super junior guy who's just learning or taking off his training wheels to go to a big opportunity call. So there's software that we can layer in right now, and I'm just a little bit nervous to do it because honestly. But what it does is it organizes your dispatch board like this. It looks at our entire CRM, analyzes the whole thing, and puts right guy, right call in a matter of seconds all across the board. So we get a new call come in, they just book it, here it goes, and then it reorganizes the whole thing in terms of where the guy's at and what his track record is on XYZ thing to make sure we're sending the right guy to the right opportunity. So those are the things from an AI perspective that are like super fun and exciting to think about, because it can just make you a hell of a lot more efficient in the field, one, and also just it'll be more effective from a bottom line perspective as well, because we'll make sure we have the right guy there.
I love that. We so that's one of the things my company does is AI implementation for businesses. And the AI receptionist thing, it's so simple. And I don't understand why more businesses aren't latching onto it, because every missed call is a missed opportunity, right? And so, look, you don't need to worry about anybody getting fired, but like, what if you could have caught one call that could have been a new furnace? Just one. Yeah. That makes total sense. I love that.
What else are you seeing? I mean, you I'm sure you ask this AI question a lot. So like, what are you seeing out there?
Well, so, we love the trades, and what I'm finding is simple is best. And so the name of our company is Freedom AI. My goal is not for anybody to get fired or replaced. It's just to leverage your existing capacity. The easiest way to think about AI is replacing somebody, though. So the CSR, right? The bookkeeper, whatever the role is, and to your point, you can't really replace the mechanic, but they're coming out with stuff now for the meta glasses where you can instantly like diagnose what's wrong. So I would say if you really wanted to be with it right now with AI, and anybody that I've talked to that has some sort of an AI employee, you are miles ahead, right? Most business owners are leveraging chat or some sort of large language model. but very few I've found are actually implementing some sort of an AI employee. And I think that's, if you really want to be with it, that's what you would be doing.
And the thing is, I think myself and everybody else, we're just nervous because it's new. And
Yep.
what I'm trying to do is start small. So let's say this receptionist, they just answer the first call and direct it to the right person. That gets our toe in the water to start moving in that direction, to start doing more. But it's just, you got to start. So
got to start somewhere. Absolutely. I love that. Out of curiosity, I forgot to ask earlier, but what are you guys at in overall sales or revenue?
Yeah. So last year we were just under 6 million.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. You were talking about like a break point or a threshold earlier, and I definitely noticed that around 3 million, it's like you can probably still be in your truck doing a lot of the work yourself and still get to about 3 million. But you got to, at some point, grow a pair, hire some really good staff if you really want to get to 6 and 10 and 15 million. So what's the goal? Where are you guys trying to get?
I had a goal, and the goal changed. And part of it is, like, when I bought this, we did 800 grand my first year. So in 2021, so I'm actually, it's funny. 2 weeks we'll be through our 5th year. So because April 1st, 2021 is when we bought this. So we've gone from 800 to 6, and we've been growing obviously pretty rapidly. So my initial goal was 15 million bucks, and now I have a much bigger goal than that in terms of where I'd like us to be. But the very honest answer is I'm holding all of this in God's hands, because I tried my darndest to direct my own ship before, and I promised I'd hold this loosely. So if he wants to take it bigger or smaller than what I have in mind, let it rip. But I'm here to grow, because it is too late. Going back to the culture side of things, this is not for me. It's not because I want to be stupid wealthy. I want to make a bunch of money. I want to provide a home for people to feel at home. So the bigger we can make this, the more opportunities we have for leadership, for field supervisors, for a bunch of other people to have a career and grow. And if I was to immediately just try to sell and pivot this to a private equity model where they're going to squeeze the juice out of every single orange, there's no room for everybody. And so this may be something that we hold for as long as I'm around and pass it to my daughter, and that'd be great too. And we'll see where it goes, but I just don't know yet. So,
well, in all seriousness, I'm in Cherry Creek, and you know this. You probably get a million calls a day, but this is a hot space for private equity. I'm curious to. So my buddy that I was referring to earlier, he owns Aim High HVAC, and he was saying actually one of the things that's amazing about being independent is that it's actually not as hard to compete with those private equity firms. Or at least the ones that are getting rolled up by private equity, because we can say, hey, we are independently owned. No one tells us what to do and how to do it. We actually really care about you and not just about the bottom line. I'm curious to see how you've been seeing it. Yeah.
100% agree. But I'm curious too. What do you know what his ballpark revenue is?
Around yours, it's about the same.
Okay. I'm wondering what his question or what his answer is going to be as he continues to grow. And the reason I say that specifically is because I am like guerrilla marketing all day, every day. Old school hustle. I mean, you're going to see, I spin cotton candy at the farmers markets. I mean, I'm out doing it.
I love that.
Right. And it's fun. But the thing is, right now I'm doing it. I don't have a team of individuals that can do this and replicate this throughout our organization. So there's going to be a point where I'm going to have to rely more on kind of big boy style marketing. What I mean by that is I have to go then jump into the pond with some of these other groups that they're spending millions and millions and millions of dollars each year on marketing, which I don't necessarily have. So like if I'm spending all that money on digital, then my marketing share is going to have to go up, and it's going to completely change things for me. Because right now, if I'm tracking my revenue, 60% comes from referral-based stuff, which is awesome for me. It keeps my cost of marketing down, right? But I don't think I'm going to be able to keep this momentum going from a growth perspective without playing more in that world of truly going digital. I hope I can figure out a way to do that, but I don't know what that is just yet.
Love that. Okay. Your faith is obviously very important to you. I always like to get, kind of a view of how Christian business owners are really taking their faith into the marketplace. How is it impacting how you lead your company, lead your staff? I'm curious to kind of hear about that.
Yeah. So it drives everything. As you were asking earlier about selling or not, it is truly in God's hands, and I want to leave it there because it's the best place for it to be, for myself,
Yeah.
for the company, for everyone else working here. As it relates to our staff, one of the very specific ways is I had another one this morning. I do one-to-ones with our team members on a very regular basis, almost monthly. And we talk about business metrics and how are you doing in the field, but the bulk of it actually is on personal development. And what I mean by that, it's not necessarily, hey, what are your personal goals? Are you getting to the gym? Are you doing this? But I'm trying to provide an outlet for them to grow and develop and have a sounding board with somebody who actually cares. And that is directly from my faith, because no one's ever going to care about our goals until we show them how much we care. And it's like we hear that adage, that thing a lot, right? And I want to invest in our people first, because once we are investing in them, they will then invest in our customers. And I believe it's going to create a virtuous circle that'll just spin on itself. And it's really important to me. It really, really is. Because if we lead our company that way, it's going to look, it's going to feel, it's going to be very different in the field. I mean, so much so, I wish I had one of the shirts here in my office, but we have this saying now that's called "Be kind and help others," and we've got it on shirts, we got it on stickers, we got it on hoodies, we got it on a bunch of different stuff. And that's intentional. It's purpose, right? What trades company is going to be wearing this? Well, it's because it's who we are. And I'll tell you, if we have this on our chest, our guys are going to be much more likely to do that and to internalize that and to be that, as is the customer going forward. So it's trying to lead subtly and then just having this ethos just flow through everything that we do.
I love that.
Yeah.
Man, we've talked about a lot today. Is there anything we haven't covered that gets you fired up?
Man, all this stuff does. I mean, it's not really. Here's the thing. It's like, I want to encourage anybody I possibly can. Owning a business is so stinking hard. And
Yeah.
it was sad today because I got an email from a friend. He's like, sorry, we're closing doors effective immediately. And it was this great dude, landscaper. And I'm like, my heart just goes out to him, but I understand. I really do. And I don't know. If for the message to leave or something to talk about, it's just stay encouraged, find your group, find your people to help build you, develop you, grow you, because you're going to need that. You're going to want that when the times get hard, but also to be that person for somebody else when they need to be picked up. And I love being that person. I also like receiving it when I really need it. And I think too many people try to row alone, and especially when you're leading the company, everyone says leadership is lonely, and it is lonely at the top, but you have to have your people. They don't have to be in your industry. And like you were talking about Micah earlier, Micah's a dude. That's great. And if I have an issue, I can feel totally comfortable calling him, and he'll just be, what's up, bro? What's going on? Let me help you. And that's what you need. Sometimes you don't need a critical step advice. You just need someone who will say, I got you. I support you. I hear you. And I hope more people seek that out and are that for others. So,
yeah. Amen. Yeah. I think owning a business is ministry. This is, when I was in seminary, I was like, man, I feel like I'm being prepared to do defense, not offense, which is why I dropped out and wanted to start a business. So, God bless you. What you're doing, you get to rub shoulders with people. You get to impact them when you're in their houses. There's so many ways that as business owners, we have an opportunity to expand God's kingdom. So I love that. And I love that vision. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That means a lot. And it's just, it's a pleasure chatting with you about it today. It really is.
Yeah. Well, if people want to find out more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
So just go to our website. MightyPineService.com is the best way to find us online. And then also to follow us on our social channels, our Instagram and Facebook feed. We have a fantastic marketing manager who really does showcase our vision and who we are and what we're doing, our time out in the community. And it's fun. So hopefully folks are encouraged by it and they learn a little bit and can go out and do the same in their own worlds.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the show.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, Andrew.